So yesterday, the New York Times was first to report that Trump's Justice Department has instructed U.S. attorneys across the country to go after yet another of Trump's perceived enemies. This time, it's liberal megadonor George Soros.
We're going to look into Soros because I think it's a RICO case against him. I've been speaking to the Attorney General about bringing RICO against some of the people that you've been reading about that have been putting up millions and millions of dollars for agitation.
Now, the Times reports that Trump's Justice Department is effectively trying to throw just a bunch of spaghetti at the wall here to see what charges might stick against Soros. On Monday, a lawyer in the Office of Deputy Attorney General and former Trump personal defense attorney, of course, Todd Blanche, a person from that office issued a directive to more than half a dozen U.S. attorneys' offices across the country, asking those offices to draft plans to investigate the Soros' family's nonprofit, suggesting potential charges ranging from racketeering to arson and wire fraud and material support for terrorism. I should note that we have absolutely no reason to believe there is any evidence to back up any of those. But again, it seems like Trump's Justice Department is just trying to kind of cast out and throw lots of spaghetti on the wall. Asking U.S. attorneys in California, New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Detroit, Maryland, and elsewhere to open investigations anyway and see if they can find anything they might be able to charge Soros' group with. Trump targeting an enemy like this is concerning on its face. We've been talking about it all evening. But I also think it's worth zooming out and looking at why Trump targeting a political donor like George Soros is so alarming. I mean, take, for example, how Trump has been demanding that Republican-controlled states across the country gerrymander their congressional maps to give Republicans more seats in Congress. Last month, Texas Republicans complied with that demand, redistricting the state in the middle of the decade in a completely naked power grab, leaving Texas with a map designed to give Republicans 5 more congressional seats in the next election. Now, in response, California Governor Gavin Newsom launched a ballot initiative, letting California voters decide if they want to fight fire with fire and redistrict California in a way that would give Democrats 5 more seats and essentially level the playing field. That ballot.
Let's pause for a second. What's happening here isn't just some paperwork or map lines. It's a power play. Whoever controls these maps controls the game. That means every seat, every vote, every law. This is how you bend democracy without breaking it.
Behind our backs.
Democracy. We got to protect it and we got to go and fight for it.
Protect democracy in all 50 states. Yes on Prop 50.
Vote no on 50.
Yes on 50.
Vota no a la Proposición 50.
Vote sí en la Proposición 50.
There are several new fronts in the redistricting wars. The latest example, North Carolina. The state Senate's Republican leader is floating a new map in a state that's already among the most gerrymandered in the country. The Republican gerrymander in Texas is poised to give the party 5 extra seats. They also could pick up multiple seats if Ohio and Florida do their own. And new proposed maps in Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, and Indiana could net them 1 more seat in each. California voters will decide in November whether to allow a Democratic gerrymander there. In Illinois and Maryland may try to add a Democratic seat as well. And in Utah, a judge has ordered them to redraw their map in a way that could add a blue seat. One thing we know for sure, every single seat will count next year. My panel is back. I mean, this effort in North Carolina just shows you the extent Trump was willing to go to just try to get 1 seat here and 1 seat there in order to keep the House.
And I would repeat the word California, and that is the reason that they're doing it. I spoke to a senior Democratic leader who said, whether we like it or not, we cannot sit back. We have to fight, and they're going to fight seat after seat. Look, at the end of the day, Democrats see the midterm election as existential, that if they don't take back the House, there are no guardrails on Donald Trump.
But certainly Trump also sees the midterms as he is, I'm sure we're all hearing this, laser focused right now on, and his decision making, everything he's doing is about the midterms in a lot of different ways.
Where he's worried about impeachment, he's worried about investigations.
Yes, exactly. Well, and because he knows what happens if you lose control of Congress. This happened to him before in his first term. He then thinks he's facing investigations, potential impeachment, and just any agenda on the Hill grinds to a halt. So they are incredibly focused on this in any ways that they can move the needle at the moment.
There's so few swing districts in the country, but the California issue is going to be hugely significant because the voters there will get to vote on this Democratic gerrymander.
Notice the pattern? It's not about fair play, it's about control. Trump's team knows if they lock down the map, they lock down power. And now California has to decide if it wants to fight fire with fire or hold the moral line.
Yes, they are fixing the elections in Texas. But that does not mean that California should fix the elections because of that. Two wrongs don't make a right. So this gives them a great opportunity by saying, oh, we have to fight Trump. Let's go and get rid of our democratic principles. Imagine to fight for democracy and to get rid of your democratic principles. It doesn't make any sense.
Tens of millions have already been spent on both sides on this issue. How do you see this playing out?
Well, it's a fascinating arms race, right? I mean, it's like what the governor says there. He goes, okay, I don't like what's happening in Texas. I don't want what's happening in California. If you tell the Republicans, stop doing it, the Democrats stop doing it. You know what I mean? It's sort of one of those things. Is, if one side's doing it, the other side feels like they have to do it. If the Republicans are doing it in Texas, a lot of Democrats feel they have to do it in California. There's no singular disarmament. So where do you go? You have every state in the country, every election cycle, then trying to sort of gerrymander their state differently every time based on who's in power? Like, do we do this forever? I mean, that's a question. It's like, where does it end? How does it end?
Well, and Schwarzenegger is making a good government argument. I mean, he was part of the effort to bring in nonpartisan redistricting.
But do Democratic voters in that blue state
But that's the thing. I think, there is this sort of step back argument, which is what is better for democracy. But right now, neither side is particularly focused on that as they fight this arms race.
Yeah, it really is an arms race, something we have not really ever seen before, as we often say.
People in California are absolutely inundated. Now, making and airing all those ads costs millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. And tonight, thanks to newly released campaign finance disclosures, we started to get an idea of where that money was coming from. Now, here's the headline in the San Francisco Chronicle. This side of the Prop 50 fight has 500 times more donors than the other. Quote, in the battle over redistricting in California, supporters led by Governor Gavin Newsom have amassed a huge network of more than 65,000 individual donors, campaign finance filings released Friday show. Compare that with the just 130 donors reported by opponents. So while more than 65,000 people collectively pooled their money to air the pro-redistricting ads I just showed you, it was just 130 people that funded all of the anti-redistricting ads. Now, don't get me wrong, both sides have mega donors. That is where George Soros comes back in here. His family is reportedly the largest single donor on the side pushing for redistricting, with a donation of around $10 million. But the side in opposition to redistricting got...
Strip away the numbers. This is billionaire chess. A handful of people are buying influence that shapes how the rest of us live. And when one man can outspend tens of thousands of voters combined, the system isn't balanced. It's rigged.
That 3 times what Soros' family has put into the fight, but the anti-redistricting side has only raised $35 million total. So almost all of their funding is coming from just that one guy. In comparison, the Soros Family Foundation donation represents less than an eighth of the funding on the pro-redistricting side. Now, mega donors are not a good thing for our political system. Billionaires should not have that much say in our politics. But we also have to be clear-headed about how this is an arms race. Remember that last year, the person who donated the most money in any political race was Elon Musk. We're talking about a lot tonight, the literal richest man in the world, who spent at least $270 million to help Trump win the White House. Trump targeting a Democratic mega donor like George Soros is, in many ways, just like Trump's gerrymandering plot. Trump wants to stack the deck in his favor, whether it's with billionaire donations.
What we're seeing here isn't just another political headline. It's a clear illustration of how power really works in America. Quietly, structurally, and strategically. Trump's Justice Department isn't building a legal case. It's building pressure. Targeting George Soros isn't about justice. It's about intimidation. When prosecutors are ordered to find something, that's not law enforcement. That's political warfare. At the same time, redistricting fights are being weaponized like never before. Maps are no longer just administrative tools. They're political weapons. Gerrymandering in Texas, counter-gerrymandering in California, and similar plays across the country aren't designed to represent voters. They're designed to choose them. Whoever draws the lines decides who stays in power. And then there's the money. The Soros family donates $10 million. Charles Munger Jr. drops $30 million. Elon Musk spends $270 million to tilt a presidential race. When the richest people in the country can buy that much influence, it's not a fair fight. It's a high-stakes auction where democracy goes to the highest bidder. Trump's strategy is simple. Rig the maps, crush the donors, consolidate power. It's not subtle, it's calculated. And the terrifying part? It works if nobody pushes back. This isn't about one man or one party. It's about the slow corrosion of democratic systems through perfectly legal but morally rotten tactics. If you care about fair representation, this is the front line. Gerrymandering isn't just a political story, it's a democratic alarm bell. And the louder we ignore it, the quieter real democracy becomes.